And now we'll go to episode 2, and there are a lot to get in there from. We still got to talk about Eve and what's going on with her and her powers. So you get introduced to the Viltrumite Empire, and somebody figured out how to come up with some hocus pocus alamigocious potion, and it made the Viltrumite sick, and it killed, I think, what do you say, like 50 billion or something crazy like that. And this was their version of the COVID virus. And it spread, and it's only 50 of these mofos left. When you saw that, what was going through your mind? How did you feel about that?
I thought it was actually a good storyline because I expect that to happen to humanity at some point. And so,
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily relate it to COVID so much as like nerdy STEMmy brain. If something like Ebola was not easily containable. So if it had a longer infection cycle, we
Mhm.
would be in trouble. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's something like that. And I thought I thought it was actually a really I don't know, I just really liked that part of it because you kinda understand. I don't wanna say understand, but it's like, "Oh, so that's why they're going planet to planet trying to impregnate all these women and have Viltrumite kids." It's because population is almost completely gone. So it's not even about building the army up so much as it is just building an army, period. Like, period. Somebody gotta sweep the street, you know? It's only 50 y'all mofos. That's not enough. It was interesting. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the Roman Empire.
Mhm.
Um, so Rome almost did not happen because they treated women so badly that all the women left Rome and the empire was going to be completely destroyed. Just like the birth of Rome, it was going to be completely destroyed because there were not enough people that were in the society to procreate to build it up.
Mm.
So, instead they invited neighboring people to the Colosseum and then offed all the men and took the women, and that's how Rome was born. And it's just very reminiscent of that to me.
Mm. Wow. That's, folks, you get bonuses here. You get science, you get history. That was a good one. I didn't even know that. Damn. See, told y'all. I
I
told
blame
y'all.
Rome for
Top
everything.
20.
Yeah.
Top 20 right here, sitting here. I love that storyline too. And I like the way they weave that into young Nolan literally getting his ass beat by the mama. Now, what was up with the mama? The mama she was mad about something. Like she was going to kill her son, and the dad was kind of, pump the brakes, mom. And the mom called them both soft. Mom used one of your lines, if I may. Both of y'all got small penis energy. Okay, I'm going away. So my question to you would be: could the women not go and try to find mates on other planets and screw them too, or was this just the men go do it? How does this work with the
Well, we don't know
Viltrumite?
that the women aren't doing that.
We don't, but we don't know for sure that they are either. We know the men are. Well, at least we know one man is, but we don't know anything about the women.
So there are a few different things, right? So what's the gestational period of a Viltrumite? So it's
Hmm.
kind of the same thing that it is with humans, right? So if we say it takes 9 months to pop out a kid, and then another month to heal up enough to be able to get pregnant again, right?
Yeah.
Like if we just go with that. Whereas dudes just can willy
True.
nilly,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're
Hmm.
trying to build up a population, then
Fast.
right, if you're trying to build up a population fast, one, you need genetic diversity, which was part of the
Hmm.
issue that they had with there only being 50 of them left. They were going to
Right.
be completely messed up. So you have to have the genetic diversity, and you need to be able to have multiple children born and multiple times in multiple different areas that you could draw from. So it's going to be harder for women to do that. And if there are only 50 Viltrumites left, because I'm pretty sure he said there were only 50 left. So if there are only
50.
50 Viltrumites left, we don't know what the percentage is of men to women.
Good point.
None of that stuff. Like with his mother, what I will say is interesting because I think that that was an individual thing with his mom. With his mother, I think it's just buying fully into the propaganda, which we also see that it is propaganda. So she's completely brainwashed, whereas dad is like brainwashed, but also I actually give half a shit about this kid. So could we not completely off
Right.
him? So there's levels to it, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as far as like what are the women doing, we don't know. And if we put a human lens on the Viltrumites, which, human writers, so you kind of got to, it makes sense for there to at least visually be more men that are going around doing the thing. They have less downtime.
That's true. And it's kind of evolutionary. Mate and migrate, basically, unless their humanity takes over and they kind of fall in love with one. Um, I guess you could say to some degree that's how Mark got here, even though old boy thought a little less of the wife, but then it kind of seemed like at one point in time he did really and truly care for her. But he's here now. And he was saved by Alan because Alan is on this mission to take out all the Viltrumites. And Omni Man is giving him the play by play on what these weapons and these entities that can take out the Viltrumites. And so we go get Alan's wife, who's voiced by Tatiana Maslany, who was She Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
and Seth Rogen voices Alan, and J.K. Simmons voices Nolan. And so we're on this space mission, basically. The first place we came to, well, all the places really, were places that the Viltrumites had conquered, had killed people, and had tried to get Nolan to seal up these different things that could hurt him. So they go get the bugs first. Then they go to a place where Nolan thought that he had killed this guy that had the gun from hell. Do you hear me? That gun, I think, could shoot through somebody's son.
It's the Death
What did
Star.
you,
It's a
yes,
portable Death Star.
what did you think of that character and that gun? And it can take out a Viltrumite like one clean swoop.
Um, I was actually kind of laughing my ass off at the whole idea of like, because the entire time they're moving rocks, it's like, yeah, it's like, so you killed this guy, and it's like, well, I buried him alive. Oh, is he dead? I did it 100 years ago. I don't know. Like it was like, bruh,
He's dead. I mean, he ain't ate nothing. Like he can't be alive after 100 years.
he's like, but it's like the way he said it. It wasn't even like, no, like there's no possible way. It was just like, I think. I mean, he shouldn't be. like, what are you doing right now, my guy? Um, and then when the gun, like when they finally get the gun starts to move, you're
Mm-hmm.
immediately like the audience is immediately like, this dude is not dead. And then hijinks ensue, and I don't know. I like that character. I really like that character. I hope that we see him again. That entire scene was just like goofy and silly AF to me. I liked it.
Loved it. I did too. I liked the character. I liked that when he came out, his ass was hungry, but he did. But he still had taste. He didn't want to eat whatever Alan was eating. He wanted to get on that ship. With Did you notice how the ship kind of looks like Star Trek? I know you had to notice that.
Yes,
Captain
yes.
Picard
So
with the
there are like a
cone.
lot of parallels that they did
Yeah.
with it, and I was
Mhm.
laughing at that the entire time too, because the bridge was very Star Trek, the
Mhm.
quarters very Star Trek, which is so funny because even when they first sent him to like the first one's like, oh, you guys could go here. I was like, you don't have other rooms? Like that was my first thought.
Look, and poor. You should never say this about a Viltrumite, but poor Nolan. Like every night on that ship, he had to hear all kinds of noises, monkey double backflips. He had to sit there and hear it every single night. And I'm sure he's thinking, I got to sit here and listen to these fools. I'm surprised he didn't go in there and tell them to pipe it down a little bit, just a
So
little
the
bit.
gag, here's the gag. He probably low keyed enjoyed it because why didn't you just go out in the hallway?
I have no comeback for that, ladies and gentlemen. Now we go find some reptiles that are like Superman reptiles. These are like doomsday animals to Viltrumites because their gravity on their planet is so strong, it has made them strong. How did you feel about those? Well, first of all, what about the dumbass Captain Picard? They said move. They said move the Dyson sphere. They didn't say blow it up. Move the Dyson sphere. His ass blew it up. Like, bro, you know what? In that moment, the wife should have made that cone head a flat top. Okay, like, bruh. And when he did that, all the little doomsday lizards was dethawing, and them things was rough. Tell me about that scene. How'd you like that? Because that was crazy.
So, okay, here's my main question. If you are trying to destroy the Viltrumites, considering that the Viltrumites have essentially left home planet and they're on all of these other planets, so let's just say, like, they're on a planet called Earth.
Yeah.
Like they're on Earth, right? And you're fighting the Viltrumites, and it's like, release the lizards. What the fuck is the plan after the
Exactly.
Viltrumites are? What was the plan?
Exactly.
What was the plan? I was like,
Well, look, maybe the plan was to unleash these things on the Viltrumites planet. Maybe that was the plan, not Earth, but on the Viltrumite
but they're not even
planet.
there. They're not. Again, there are 50 of them left. Okay, 50 of them left. You have had orders to spread your seed across the universe and to see if you can find DNA that is compatible enough with yours so that you can have another strong Viltrumite, right? There are only 50 of you left. There are probably 5 people on that damn planet. Like, that's not even, and now they know that you have these lizard things that are going to take them out. Like, they know about it, right? Like,
Yeah.
what was how did you think you were going to even catch one to begin with? Are we just going to use a damn net? Like, what were they thinking?
So the plan was to keep them on ice and then get them on the ship. But what I want to know, I'm with you on, like, what was the plan beyond that? I get that you're going to keep them on ice, get them on the ship, but how many was you going to take? Where was you going to drop them? And when you drop them, if let's just say that they wind up killing the Viltrumites, how y'all going to take them down then? Like, who is going to be strong enough to deal with these things to control them? What was, y'all don't got Professor X on this show. Y'all don't got nobody that can read a mind and shut it down. So what was going to be the next thing y'all was going to do with these lizards? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I'd have left them alone. I love the scene itself because it was a mix of funny and also like, why are y'all still there? Go, 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 go. Like, it was like some anxiety that was there, right? So when they started, the first
Right.
time they started flying away, I was like, all right, good, we're good. And then they jumped up and I was like, we are not good. What the fuck? Like, it's like, what is happening right now? But um, so I mean, like, I love the scene,
Mhm.
but there is no way in hell the way that Nolan even described them, like they're bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
We came here on a planet. I was the only one to survive. I
He
was the
was
only
scared.
one to survive.
Yeah, man.
We can leave them right the fuck here. Like, I'm good. Let's go.
Yeah.
That was wild to me. Like, as soon as he said that, I was like, nah, I'd have been out of that mission. Like, nah, I'm good.
Like, let the lizards remain sushi. Just leave their asses there. There is really no place. You know who I would like to see go down there? Battle Beast. Even though he get his ass kicked too, because he can't beat the Viltrumites. I would love to see him go and fight one of those things, but I think he would get beat down too. But at the end of the day, I just don't know how was y'all. Let's just say that you got them, they accomplish the mission, they take out the other Viltrumites. What are you going to do with them then? Like, are you going to freeze them again?
You
Like, or
know,
are you going to take? You could take that gun if old boy is willing to use his gun. I'm sure that gun could kill him.
yeah, but there are too many. Like, that's the thing. There are too many of them, and then to me, it felt too much like I just see xenomorph in them,
Yeah,
where y'all fools are gonna bring them to Earth, and then they're gonna start populating and just offing everyone. Like, that was the
right,
idea that I had in my head, was like,
right.
who the hell purposefully, outside of the capitalist monsters and alien Earth, like, who is gonna purposefully be like, let's bring xenomorphs to Earth? Like, leave them the hell alone. Some boxes don't need to be opened. Some secrets don't need to be known. Leave it the hell alone.
Right. Okay, so Now they've gone back and we've learned that Thaddeus is the one who released the gas. He's a Viltrumite. But I have a nerdy question for you. The voice of Thaddeus was also a character from the 80s. Now, I know you're kind of young and stuff like that, but I'm sure you probably watched some 80s shows. Whose voice is Thaddeus from the 80s? While she's looking things up, Thaddeus, I thought was going to get killed because Nolan was not feeling the fact that he's the one who basically off a billion. Oh, she found it. A billion of the Viltrumites. Thaddeus was not feeling it. And so now that she's figured it out, we'll give the floor back to her. Now, do you see the voice comparisons now? When you think
Yes,
about his voice, you hear
yes,
that voice. For
yes,
those of you that didn't know, Optimus Prime from Transformers.
yes.
That's the guy Thaddeus. And the actor's name, I forgot his name, but
Peter Cullen.
yep, Cullen. Yep, Cullen. Thank you. That's Optimus Prime, and one of the most distinctful voices you've ever heard. So, what do you think about that character, and how do you feel about him basically being? I relate this to the colonizers. You know, if one colonizer went bad because of what they did to the natives here, would you be in support of that person basically helping the people native to the land, or would you want to do like Nolan was about to do and take him out even though you know that your people are evil? Where do you stand on this?
So it's very interesting, really interesting, because I think that this is more of that thread of what is the hero. I think
True.
he's a hero. I think he's a hero. And it's really interesting because yeah, you genocided your own people who were genociding all of these other planets, right? So Nolan
Right.
kind of loses it for a second and he actually says that to him. It's like you killed everybody on the planet. It's like you started a genocide and he's like, bitch, y'all been doing that all over the galaxy. Like,
Pretty much.
like that was like kind of the response to it. Um, and at the end of the day, the plague that the Viltrumites were becoming and the things that they were doing and the cruelty that was shown, getting a virus that very quickly kills you is actually mercy in my eyes in a lot of ways.
I agree.
Um, and it's for him to carry that because he was definitely kind of torn and like I know the pain that I've caused my own people and I realize I'm doing this to my own people and then there's a certain level of you have a refined virus now that no one would be able to survive, which would either mean that A, you plan on doing this and dying yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or B, you plan on doing this and being the only one of your kind in the entire universe when it's all said and done. Both of those things are very tough choices, and both of those things, in my eyes, make him a hero.
I agree. I 100% agree. At some point in time, all kinfolk, all skin folk ain't kinfolk at some point in time. And if your family is responsible for a genocide of not just one planet, we're talking about planets, plural, let alone you just do it on one planet. And you understand that morally, ethically, and just in your heart is terrible. And you go on a crusade basically alone that actually works, you're a hero because they could have figured out several ways to off him in painful ways if they would have found out what he did. And for him to have the moxie, the guts, the compunction to want to save people from future being eaten up by these locusts on the universe, I give him a lot of credit. And I give him credit for facing Omni Man too, and just telling him, look, bro, it is what it is,
It is what it
and
is.
you need to get on this team, okay? And I'm just like, why Omni Man gonna say to him, promise me this is gonna be a last resort? I'm thinking to myself, bro, the minute you turn your back, I'm gonna shove this shit right in you, and
You
that's
know
gonna be my
what?
last resort.
I get the last resort part. I get the last resort part because at the end of the day, if humanity was being attacked in the same way,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And somebody had something like that, and it's like, okay, well, human being, you've done all the things, right? I would still want it to be a last resort for the simple fact that not even thinking about like, oh, well, I'll be dead too, so much as what about the entire species? There's still value to the species itself.
Mhm.
Um, and that would be the thing that would make me kind of like, if we do this, then this has to be a last resort because we still have to at least try to save the culture, the music, the art, the buildings. We need to try to save all of those things and save our species. We have to try.
Well, the species is going to be saved with Mark, with Omni Man. Them last 50, there's nobody in that last 50 redeemable. I get your argument because their government is doing the bad shit and some of the people have nothing to do with it. I get if it's that. But these are the last 50 Viltrumites. All of them is for Thrag. All of them is for taking over planets. So look,
But
I'm on the
Nolan was one of
mindset,
the last 50.
but Nolan has transitioned. So what are you going to do with these other
We don't
50? You just going to put them in jail?
we haven't met the other 49. We haven't met them. We don't know if there's a chance of them. We don't know if they already have. We have not met
We,
them at all.
we've met 5 of them. We met the one who came to beat up. We met, no, it was
Yes,
3 last season that came to
yes,
get Mark,
yes.
and we've seen the 3 this
Mhm,
season. We don't know
mhm,
the other 50, but
mhm.
I think it's safe to assume the last 50 probably are hanging together and they're probably under Thrag's control. And so I guess for you, would you just try to like capture one of them and just, you know what? You're going to become a
No,
godly man. I'm going to teach you this
no.
Christianity, and your ass is going to be saved in the name of Jesus, and you're going to be good. We're going to save your culture because you can save the culture without the people.
I am not a Christian. I am agnostic, therefore I would pull Daenerys Targaryen on them, bend the
Oh my
knee,
God,
get the
she's going
dragon.
to burn them up.
I
She's she's going to Dracarys.
bend the knee or get the dragon. That is what I would do. And that is where it would become a last resort. Because at the end of the day, even if you have like Nolan's father, so that's actually a really good example. So Nolan's father, when he stopped his mother,
Mhm.
Nolan's father was already kind of like, maybe we don't need to do this. Maybe this isn't right.
That's
Nolan was
true.
kind of fighting with himself before he came to that conclusion of like, we don't need to do this. We do not know what experiences these other Viltrumites have had. We don't know if they had, and even Nolan with the mother, he didn't stay with her because, oh, I care about you so much. He stayed with her to see if Mark would get powers. That's why he was there for so long. So you got to figure if the other Viltrumites are doing the exact same thing, where, okay, we're having children with these other species, and then we need to be here long enough to see if these kids are going to have powers. We have to play the same game. There's a chance that Nolan is not the only one that changed his mind. There's that chance. So I get it where, if it's last resort, but also bend the motherfucking knee or Dracarys.
Okay. Not to mention that Viltrumite DNA, Mark has a brother now, which we're going to talk about season 3. And if you recall, that species, they only live for like 22 days like a damn cricket. But Mark's brother, he's thriving. He's thriving and he's alive. Which brings us, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 3, where we're going to tie up all these loose ends. Let us know what you thought about episode 2 as we dig into this thing. Before we even get there, I just got to know, what do you think about Thrag? What's so tough about him? Like, is he going to have more Superman powers? Does he got light beam? Why is he so tough? Why does he get to wear lion skin furs around his neck like he coming to America and shit? What is so tough about him?
Because the people gave him the power.
That's it. Like that's it. Like he's no stronger than Nolan. He's no faster than a speeding bullet. Like the rest of them, there's nothing else about
I
him. Like
I think there is a chance that he is physically stronger on a one-to-one basis, but the
right.
people gave him the power. They could have ripped him apart years ago if they wanted to. He
Okay.
probably had like one epic battle and they were all like, "Oh shit, like you're so strong. We bow down to you." And then he started doing all of the things and propaganda worked.
Okay. I can rock with that. So episode 3 starts out with Titan. And this always gets under my
And a matter
skin.
of fact,
Huh?
I just thought about something because,
Go
in a
for it.
matter of fact, Optimus Prime actually said it. I forget character names all the time. It's brain, but Optimus Prime actually said it, and they said it in the story with the flashback too. He got the power because the people he defeated
That's right.
Optimus Prime. So
Hmm.
then he became a savior. So he's definitely not stronger. He just has the power. Like they just gave him the power because now they're just like, you are our savior and we owe you all of this. So we do this. Like I don't think he has any other powers.
Okay. Look, I can rock with that. I mean, if people give you the power, hey, you got it. You don't got to raise up a sword